We are thrilled today to have here as our guest interviewer an esteemed media guest. Some of you will be very familiar with her voice as one of the past co-hosts of All Things Considered and now special correspondent to NPR, Melissa Block. So we are thrilled to have her with us. And she is here, obviously, to interview our guest speaker and keynote interviewee, an icon in music, a legend within the civil rights movement, and someone who has countless awards and albums, and including the top honor in the U.S. from the National Endowment for the Arts, National Fellowship. But all of those things, I think, while they stack up on a resume, looking at simply the front cover of her latest album, which won Album of the Year last night, which features on the front cover 5 young children looking through a fence to a field that they're not allowed to enter. 5 young African-American children looking through that fence. And all of the ways that that image ripples out into all of the conversations happening today, nationally and globally. Her work today is as relevant as all of the awards and all of the albums and all of the legacy of that work. So it's an honor for all of us to have her here. Please welcome both Melissa as our interviewer and the one and only Mavis Staples.
That the sun has come out and the skies are blue at the moment. Mavis Staples takes the stage.
Oh man, thank you so much.
I'm reminded, it's interesting that I'm speaking with you here. The last time I heard you sing live was 26 years ago, a couple miles from here at the New Orleans Jazz Festival.
Is that right?
In the gospel tent, and I'm quite sure that your family lifted the tent completely off the ground. I'm sure a lot of people in this room have that same experience. So it's great to see you again.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I want to talk to you a little bit about the linkage that you see between the history of your family singing gospel songs, sacred songs, and the message songs that you started singing in the 60s, and the message of social justice in songs like Freedom Highway, When Will I Be Paid, Why Am I Treated So Bad? What is that connection that you drew, that your father drew? What do you see as that sort of connective tissue?
Songs?
Well, in general, with message songs and gospel.
They're just songs of messages. You know, it's a long walk to D.C., but I got my walking shoes on. And When Will We Be Paid for the Work We've Done was just one of my favorite songs because it just told such a beautiful story. And I really can't remember the last one. You mentioned 3 songs.
Yeah. Well, did your dad talk about how he saw that as an extension of gospel, and a different kind of gospel?
Indeed. Pops, he felt like if you're singing about love, you're singing gospel. And that was what we were singing about, coming together and being as one. And it's the folk. When we first started going to folk festivals, we didn't know anything about folk music, but we learned quickly. It was so beautiful. You know, we got there and we saw the flower children, and we saw all the love signs, and everybody was talking about love, and we heard songs that Pop said, y'all know we can sing that, you know, because we didn't want to get too far from gospel singing.
Yeah.
But if we heard something that was talking about love and coming together, we felt that was gospel.
Yeah.
Because gospel is truth.
Right.
You know, and so we heard there's something happening here. That was the first one we did. Then we heard, then we were with Dylan and Pop.
Yeah.
We were listening, and Pop said, listen, y'all, listen what that kid is saying. And he was saying, how many times, how many roads must a man walk down?
Right.
When Pops could literally, that was Pops. He used to tell us stories about when he was in Mississippi, he couldn't walk down the street. If a white man was coming on the same side of the street, Pops had to cross over.
Right.
So when he heard Dylan sing that, he said, we can sing that. We went home and learned it, got the album. And just songs, so we never wanted to get away from gospel.
Yeah.
But as time passed, we would sing more and more folk songs. We sing The Weight.
Yep.
You know, we and then Pops in interviews, he would tell the people, don't categorize us. Just don't categorize. We just sing. God gave us voices to sing and didn't tell us what to sing. Right. You know, but
he said once, if you want to write for the Staples, read the headlines.
Yes.
So he was looking for messages, right? He was looking for things that spoke to the moment.
I'm sorry?
He was looking for things that spoke to the moment.
Indeed. Yeah. Indeed. He'd tell us, so if you want to write for the Staples, read the headlines. And we wanted to sing about what was happening in the world today. And if we saw something happening that wasn't right, we wanted to try to fix it through a song. And Pops wrote the song, Why Am I Treated So Bad? We would watch these children in the 50s, this in the 50s, in Little Rock, trying to board a school bus, trying to integrate Central High School. And they were my age. So we were all on the floor, we would watch the news every day. It went on for so long, the mayor of Little Rock, the governor of Arkansas, and the president, Lyndon B. Johnson, said, let those children go to school. And we all wanted to see the kids go to school. We wanted to see them board up. Well, this day, they got up to the bus, and the policeman put a billy club across the door. And Pop said, now why are they doing it? Why is he treating them so bad? And he wrote that song that evening. And that turned out to be Dr. King's favorite.
I want to ask you about a line in Freedom Highway. Your dad wrote, the whole world is wondering what's wrong with the United States.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, as you sing, you still sing that song.
Oh yeah, Freedom Highway.
And what are you thinking about as you sing it now in
you know
2020?
What? I can't help but think about Pops. And I can't help but think about the marches. We would march up Freedom's Highway. That was the very first song he wrote for the movement. And you just can't, I can visualize what we were doing. We were marching. And, Pops, he was something. He would march up Freedom Highway, made up my mind, and I won't turn around. And I sing that song, I keep that song in my list on my shows, you know.
So what do you think of now when you're singing that song? What's the 21st century connection for you?
I think of the same. Yeah,
Maybe being polite here.
I know I'm an old girl. But I still think of the same thing because it's embedded. It's embedded in my mind what was happening when we first recorded that song. And I tell you, it's more powerful today. It's needed more today than it was back then.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because we have a person who has given rebirth to bigotry. You know, it's a brand new to some people. You have what do you call them? What do you call the young kids? The
Millennials?
Millennials, yeah. You have the millenniums. This new to them, but some of them are little flower children, and some of them aren't. You know, so when I see the news that reminds me of the '60s, that takes me back to the '60s, I just shake my head and I start talking to Pops. I pray. I talk to Dr. King. You know, and I just that keeps me from falling apart. You know, because it's something to see young men, handsome young men, walking with torches. You back in the day, the people that were marching with torches looked the part. They looked like they should be mine. but today, these young men were handsome guys, you know, and they looked like college students. They didn't look the part. They didn't look like evil people, you know. So I don't know what to expect.
When you say you talk to Pops, what do you tell him? What are you thinking?
I tell him, I say, Pop, do you believe this is still going on?
And does he answer you back?
Huh?
Does he answer you back?
Yeah, he tell me, Mavis, you just keep on singing. Just keep on, don't stop.
Stay on that highway. Stay on that highway.
Stay on one highway.
Stay on the Freedom Highway.
Stay on the Freedom Highway. And march on up to Washington, you know, and beyond. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Somebody over there.
I got an amen over there.
But, you know, like I say, I'm just happy to still be here and that I'm the last one, you know, myself and Congressman John Lewis, you know, and I'm just happy to still be here, to still be carrying the load, carrying the message, and I am the messenger, you know. So it's a lot more to be done. I'm not stopping. My last I'm not stopping. My last CD is called We Get By, and there's some songs on there that Ben Harper wrote for me. You know, I said, Ben, you must have been here back in the day. He said, Mavis, I know what it was about, and I know what you're about, and I know what kind of songs you need to sing. So he wrote around me. He wrote the songs around. But I have so many songs that I wish I could sing them all on one night, but it's not enough time. And then
oh, I think everybody has time. They would wait. I want to take you back to when you were traveling with your family in the South, in the Deep South in the 60s, coming from Chicago to a very different world. And what kinds of things you encountered on the road that just really took you back, that you weren't prepared for? Or did Pops prepare you for what you
Well, he did. Pops did prepare us. You know, when we started singing, we were little kids. We were stair steps, you know, and Pops, our record was hot in the South first. And so people started calling us to come down. And Pops set us down and he told us, he'd say, all right, now, you all, we're going down to Carolina. We're going down to Georgia, Alabama. Everybody don't love you. Everybody don't you all, you have to be very careful. And if you go in the store, just get what you want and leave. And my sister said, Daddy, do we have to say yes, ma'am? He said, you just say yes. You know, whatever they ask you, just say yes. But we were pretty bold because Pops was bold. So we took after Pop. We went in a store in Jackson, Mississippi. My sisters and I, we saw these shoes that we wanted to sing in, and they were silver pumps. So we go in, we let our sister Cleety be our spokesperson because she was the oldest. And so Cleety, and Cleety said, we'd like to know if you have these shoes in 3 different sizes. And she gave the lady the sizes. And so the lady came back out with the shoes, and Cleety said, okay, we better try these on. And that's when she said, oh no, hon, if you want to try them on, you have to go over behind that curtain. And we looked at the curtain. It was an old raggedy crocosite. They had torn this crocosite bag and hung it up some kind of way. So Cleety said, oh no, we can't take these. And that's when the lady said, y'all ain't from here, are you? And Cleety didn't make it no better. She said, yes, ma'am, we're from here. We've been living here all our life. Yeah. She said, we live on Church Street. And we did. That was a black family who were kind of well-to-do. They had a big house, and they would rent rooms out to the black artists who came in, you know. It was like bed and breakfast. And we did live on, they were on Church Street. So, and the lady just looked so shocked when Cleety said, oh yeah, we've been living here all our life.
Did you get the shoes,
So we didn't get those shoes.
Okay.
And Pops had told us, he said, all right now, y'all go on down there shopping. Go down, and he said, but don't start nothing. And then in the next breath, he said, don't take nothing either.
That's a pretty good overall philosophy, I think, right? Yeah?
Well, we had fun, you know, but we did run into trouble. We went into trouble. We went to jail. You know, we went to jail. We beat up a white man.
This was at a gas station, I think, yeah? At a gas station, a service station in Tennessee?
Yes, it was a service station in Memphis, 3rd and Union. I'll never forget it. I was the night driver, and I pulled up in there to fill up, and this tall, lanky young man, he came to help me, and I told him I wanted to fill up, and he came for his money right after he filled it up. And I said, can you wash the windshield? The bugs and things on the windshield. And he looked at me for a long time. Then he snatched his rag and he messed up the windshield. And then I asked him for receipt. And what did I do that for? He looked at me again a long time. Then he said, N-word, if you want a receipt, you come over to the office. The office was right away because I was on the outside tank. So Pops said, pull over there, Mavis. I pulled over, Pops got out, went inside, and he wanted to ask that young man why he called me out of my name like that. And the next thing I saw was him shaking his finger in Pop's face, and that's, Pop clocked him. Pop clocked him. He went down. He went down, and then he jumped up. They fought over into the grease part, you know, where they fix cars. And they fought, and I saw Pops had his slippers on, he slipped down, and this guy had a crowbar. He was going to, and then Cleety, my sister, she was on his back. She beat his back.
And you're behind the wheel. You're behind the wheel.
I'm still driving to get away. Yes, I was staying ready. But when Pops told me to go, I couldn't go. I was so scared. You know, they all got back in the car huffing and puffing. And my brother said, you better go around to Lorraine Hotel. And Pop said, no, we're going home. And he said, drive, Mavis. And I couldn't move. He said, drive, Mavis. I said, Dad, I can't drive. I don't think I can drive anymore. And he just looked at me, he said, drive. And that's when I started driving. I didn't want him to get me like he got that boy, you know. So I got on, I drove, I started seeing these lights behind me. I said, Pops, there's some lights behind me. He said, keep on, Mavis, get on across the bridge. This is the bridge that's dividing West Memphis, Arkansas, and Memphis, Tennessee. I get on across the bridge, and we got these police with 3 cars. They jumped out, shotguns on us, and they had us stand on the highway, our hands over our heads. Cars were zooming past us, and I was scared to death.
Yeah.
And they went in the trunk. This guy had told them that we beat him up and robbed him, didn't pay for our gas, you know. And they went in the trunk. He saw this money that Jackson, Mississippi had paid us in a cigar box. And the policeman said, "Oh, this is what we're looking for." And Pop said, "That's our money, officer." He said, "Oh, where you get this kind of money, boy?" He called Pops a boy. And Pop says, "We sang for that money in Jackson, Mississippi tonight. These are my children. And we sing gospel songs." And Pop said, "You can call any disc jockey here in Memphis, Bless My Bone, Wade, Rufus Thomas, anybody, they'll let you know who we are." And they just ignored all that. And to make a long story short, they put us all, handcuffed us all behind our backs, put us in the cars, and I was never so happy to see a jail. They took us to jail. We walked into jail, the first thing, Pops walked in before us, and here's a black man mopping the floor. He looked up, he said, "Papa Staples, what you doing here?" And Pops just walked on with his hands behind his back. And then here come the three of us, me, Cleety, and Purvis. And he said, "And your children." And we just walked. We laugh a lot about that after it's all over. But it could have been a movie the way he was talking to us. And we go in, the chief came out, he said, "All right, who want to tell me what happened here?" Pop said, "I'll tell you. You take me to another room, I'll tell you." He still didn't want me to hear what this boy had said about me. And took him to another room, then they sent a policeman out, wanted Cleety to go out and look for this receipt. That's what saved us. The receipt was all bloody, but it was the receipt for that night. And they found out this guy lied. That chief came out, he said, "Get them handcuffs off those people. Let the people go home." You know, they let us go. The next time we were in Memphis, you looked over to the right, it was like a little incline. There's about 12 or 15 policemen sitting over there.
At your concert?
Yeah, at the concert. They sent Pops a note, and Pops read the note. He said, "Well, Chief, it's mighty nice of y'all to come out to see us." He said, "But who's minding the town over there?" Anything looked like everybody was there. All the police.
You know, we're laughing about it now. But we're laughing about it now. It could have gone really south really fast.
Oh, girl. You know, it could have. And the next day, it was all in the paper. My friends would call, "Mavis, you and your family, y'all beat up a white man." I said, "Oh yeah, we beat him down. I didn't do no beating."
And I was driving the getaway car.
I drove the getaway car. I didn't beat him.
Were there, you know, you hear about sunset towns or sundown towns, right? All white towns, especially in the South, but all over, where blacks could not afford to be after dark.
Yeah.
Were you mindful of that? No. I mean, were you mindful that there were places where we've got to get on the road? We can't stay here.
Well, do you know that happened? I didn't know what was happening, but that happened to one of our musicians in California. He was in a neighborhood that he was not supposed to be in, just walking down the street. Next thing we know, Pops get a call from a jail, and but see, they said he shouldn't have had on sunglasses. Well, it was nighttime, so I never did understand that. But I didn't know that's a new one. That's a new one. I didn't know that.
Do you think were there things Pops kept from you? Do you think he sheltered you from some of the indignities or some of the...
No, he didn't keep anything from us. He told us everything that he possibly could, you know, he felt like we needed to know. You know, Pops told us a lot of stories. My grandmother told us a lot of stories. You know, we were very fortunate little children. But
this is your grandmother in Mississippi. Your grandmother in Mississippi.
My grandmother, my grandmother gave me the worst. You know, people in Mississippi, they use switches. They use switches to give you a spanking. You know, and my grandmother, she gave me the worst. I cried so to go home. I said, I never want to go back to Mississippi with grandma. And this was about me singing on stage. I always loved to sing. And I would be walking to school, and this song would be playing on a jukebox already, you know, early in the morning. And I learned it. I heard it so many times, I had learned it. And the kids pushed me on stage one day because they knew I liked to sing. They pushed me out there, and I hit this song. You made me leave my happy home. and my uncle, he was in school. Well, school went from kindergarten to 12th grade, I think. He was 16 years old, but I saw him coming around the hall, coming around the wall. And he came up on stage. I thought he was coming to pat me on my head, you know, and tell me I was doing good. Instead, he snatched me off the stage. And he pushed me on till we got to the door, out the door, on to my grandma's house. We get to grandma's house. He pushed me in the house and told grandma, this young'un is up at the schoolhouse singing the blues. And what did he tell her that for? He said, oh, singing the blues, huh? You get out there and get me some switches. I ain't have no better sense. I came back here, because I was a little kid. I said, Grandma, I can't find no switches. You can't find no switches. You don't want me to go get the switches now. And I probably should have found some, because I didn't know that the little tiny ones hurt worse than she had little thin switches. She came back, and she got my little leg. You don't sing no blues in this house. You sing church songs. Well, see, nobody had ever told me what to sing. And from that, I started printing letters home to Mama. I said, Mama, I want to go home. I don't like Grandma. Grandma put the switch, and she sent me back to school with little pink webs on my legs. Because, you know, we wore little short dresses. But later years, Grandma moved to Chicago, and she was living with us. I was about 21 years old, and I had recorded Since I Fell For You. I told her, I stopped by her room, I said, Grandma, where? Come in the living room, I want to show you something. So she came on up in, and I put that needle on there. And she said, you little old booger, you didn't forget that, did you? I said, no, ma'am, I didn't forget. You can't get me now, though. I've had a wonderful, wonderful life, I tell you. I have had a wonderful life.
You have worked with so many people. When I'm thinking about the producers you've worked with lately, Jeff Tweedy, M. Ward, Prince.
Yes.
And I want to read you something that Prince said about you, working with you. He said, when you sing, you became possessed. It's like you can call something into existence. I look at her and I wonder if she goes somewhere else. And I'm wondering where you go. Where do you go?
I go to my heart.
Yeah.
I go to my heart. And, you know, because Pops taught me years ago, Mavis, you don't need gimmicks. You don't need to sing at the top of your voice. You sing from your heart. And what comes from the heart reaches the heart. So you don't have to, and that's every time. I've never forgotten that. And I do a little prayer, do a little meditation in the dressing room, and I go to my heart, and we go on the stage.
I think there are a lot of musicians in this room that probably know exactly what that feels like. But are there times when you lose yourself, when you realize on stage you have gone somewhere else and you've taken yourself someplace and all of a sudden you're back?
Yeah, I have. I just sometimes I have to really pump myself up, you know, because you don't feel good all the time, but most of the time I'm feeling chipper. But I just, you just have to. This is my job. This is what I love to do, and I have to just condition myself and be ready. I have so much fun. I enjoy singing so much, and I don't. What was your question?
Well, I like where you're going with that answer, but the question was, are there times when you lose yourself in a song when you're on stage?
Yeah. I lost myself right then.
In the best way.
You do. I get happy. The spirit hits me too when I'm singing, and like I say, I'm singing for myself too. I'm singing to keep everybody else happy and want them to feel good. I want them to feel better than they felt when they came in that building, and I want to feel good too. But sometimes when your mind, you're singing a song, say like Amazing Grace or Precious Lord. It's those old spirituals that really get you, and I just go to another place. I just, a heavenly place, a beautiful place, and I'm just so grateful that I am able to. The Lord blessed me, I don't know what key I sing in. I don't know nothing about music. I don't know music. He blessed me to be able to sing from ear. Whenever I hear wherever Pops had his guitar, I would know where to sing, but and I'm grateful, so I can take myself to sing and unsing things, so just sing a song. Just like the kids read books, books take you all over the world, so I'm just a happy old girl, happy to be here.
When I talked to Mavis a week or so ago on the phone, and you had just come back from the gym. You go to the gym, 3 times a week?
Yeah,
You work out with a trainer?
Yes.
You box?
I box, yeah. I figure I better learn how to box.
So what's your routine? Tell me about your gym routine and how it keeps you going.
My routine is I make it to. Gotta get up first. Sometimes I don't want to get up. I get to the gym, I hit the treadmill. I go in the treadmill 20 minutes, sometimes 30. And then the trainer, he come over, we'll get on the road. I get a rowboat. I roll. And then I take this ball and I go from side to side. and I put my boxing gloves on. And he tell me, okay, maybe. I go. I'm good boxing. I'm a good boxer. And my boxing gloves are pink. I got pink boxing gloves. And from that, then he'll put me on the table and try to crush some of my tight muscles, yeah. And it's only an hour. So the rest I have to do on my own when I get home, but that's never.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg has made a lot of fame for herself with her exercise routine. I think the Mavis Staples exercise routine is next.
Yes.
But does it help you on the road? I mean, when I think a lot of folks in this audience are thinking, no, she's 80, she's going strong. What keeps you going? What makes you keep going?
I don't do anything extra other than I get my rest, and I do leg stretches because I have 2 new knees. Yeah, and but what keeps me is just that I am happy to be able to get to where I am, to get to the next place and make people happy. Make, you know, that's what keeps me going. The fact that I can sing a song and make people smile, make tears, happy tears. You know, I'm blessed. I am fortunately blessed, and God just didn't leave me alone. You know, he had work for me to do. He said, "Now, Mavis, I'm gonna put you here. I want you to take care of the biz." I said, "All right, Father." But no, I'm a ham too, you can tell that. Yeah, but that's what keeps me, you know, the fact that, you know, and I think about my family, I think about Pops, you know, and if he's still watching over me, you know, I think about my sisters, and I've just had a wonderful life. They're still with me. Everybody's still with me. And I have a brother at home too, you know.
It's perfect.
He's a player. 85 years old. He's still playing. You know. But I said, "Per, some of those ladies, their husband gonna come after you." He said, "They have to catch me." But yeah, I wasn't like Pops had. That was 14 in Pops' family. 7 girls and 7 boys. Magic. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, I told Pops, I said, "Daddy, y'all had a choir. 14 children. 7 girls, 7 boys." And Pops said, "Yeah, maybe." He said he had 3 mothers, because he had 3 sisters that were so much older than him, and they took his mother's place as far as raising him, you know.
I want to end with this thought, and when we're talking about what keeps you going and what brings you joy. You said once, "I'll stop singing when I have nothing left to say." And then there was a coda, you said, "And that ain't gonna happen."
Gonna happen. No, indeed. I'm gonna always have something to say. So you all can just be ready. I will be right here with you. I ain't going nowhere. I'll be singing. Yes. That's so nice. I have enjoyed being here. I tell you, I have an award. When I first came in, I got an award. I don't know if you all saw that. But I had to cut it close, because you tried to take it, didn't you? No, that was another girl.
Not me.
Another girl. But I have really felt very happy to be here. I'm so happy being honored, and I'm just you know, I want to cry, but I don't want to cry, because y'all don't want to see me cry. I get real ugly when I'm crying. But I just want to thank you all for having me. Thank you for having me. And thank you for